Hi, I'm Margie and welcome back to my kitchen. What I've made for you are chocolate chip cookies. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to eat them all. Although my nephew is going out to visit my brother in California, so I'm going to pack some up for him. But I'm going to show you how I made, whoa, they're going to fall off the, So I'm going to show you how I made them. I don't know how well you can see these, but these are chocolate crinkles. I'm going to share this recipe with you today along with the chocolate chip cookies. I thought I'd just throw that in as a little extra bonus. First thing I do is put my sugars in. In here I'm putting 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. And then I'm going to add my butter, and I'm just going to use a spoon to stir that. I just feel like making these by hand. I have 1.25 cups of soft butter. So that's 2 sticks and then a half a stick. I just thought I'd have some fun since my butter was nice and soft. I have my bowl on a wet paper towel. That's going to help. So this is going to take a little longer, but I just feel like doing it that way, so I'll be back when this is all blended. Now I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm adding this to my fat because I just think that it just absorbs the flavor better. Now I'm adding my eggs. I'll add 1 egg at a time. I have 2 eggs. Here I have 3 cups of flour minus 2 tablespoons. And in here I've added 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. So we're just going to give the soda and the salt a little stir in there. I'm going to add half of this approximately at a time. Now I'm going to add the other half. Whoop. Now here is 1.5 cups of chocolate chips and 1 cup of walnuts that I've chopped very coarsely. I'm just going to go ahead and add all of that. So now I'm going to put this in a bowl and refrigerate it for half hour or so, and then I'll make my cookies. We're going to make the chocolate crinkles now. And first thing I have here is a photo of how I collect ingredients on a cookie sheet when I'm making several kinds of cookies to keep organized. So this is more a picture of just what I do than for you to actually see the ingredients because they're difficult to see. This is unsweetened chocolate and we use 4 ounces and I'm chopping that up fine. And we'll put that in a microwavable bowl. And that's a half a cup of oil. I'm going to put a little oil in there first. You don't need to, but I just did that. I'll add the chocolate. And then I'll add almost all of the rest of the oil. I'll leave a little bit of it out, so just in case the oil gets a little bit warm, I can add that cooler oil to it to help cool it down. So melt it slowly for about 30 seconds, then give it a stir. I'm going to go ahead and just stir this, even out the temperature. Now I'm going to put it back in there again for another 30 seconds. So now this is another 30 seconds. And it's very warm. You could actually not melt the chocolate all the way to the end when all the lumps are gone. And that will help to keep it from getting too hot. And the heat that's in this oil will just melt down the rest of the chocolate. But I'm going to do this again for another, say, 20 seconds, give it a little more heat. But it looks really nice. So that was another 15 seconds. There's still a little chocolate in here. Be patient with your chocolate. Now I'm going to add the rest of this oil. That'll help cool it down a little too. This bowl has 2 cups of flour, which I'm going to put through a strainer. And the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Let's go ahead and put that into our flour. A half a teaspoon of salt. Always make sure you check the amount on your spoon. I've made mistakes in the past. I'm just going to go ahead and sift that in. You always want to read your recipe and see if it calls for 2 cups of flour sifted or 2 cups of sifted flour. That's 2 different things. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla to my chocolate. So I'm going to put my sugar into my bowl. That's 2 cups of sugar. And I'm going to add my chocolate. We don't want to lose any chocolate, so I'm going to scrape this out nicely. I'll bet some of you were wondering if I was going to scrape it. I used to own a candy company, so trust me, I scrape all my chocolate. I might not scrape the butter dish, but I do scrape the chocolate. So now we've got 4 eggs. And we're going to go ahead and add 1 at a time. We'll start this beating. Now I'm going to add 1 egg at a time, put it on low. Now I'm going to scrape it down. I'm going to scrape the sides a little bit. Maybe there's some sugar in the very bottom of the bowl. Now we'll go ahead and add some flour. With our baking powder and our salt. Then we'll scrape it down one more time and let it stir. Then we're going to refrigerate it. Probably overnight, several hours at least. One of the items that was not on that tray of ingredients was powdered sugar that we're going to roll these in. Well, there we go. How's that look? So there's the dough. And I'm going to cover it. And I think I'll go ahead and stiff my powdered sugar just so I can kind of clean up my mess. Here I'm sifting the powdered sugar, and it had a lot of lumps in it because it's summer, and during the summer it's very humid. So you want to sift it. Now when you make the cookies, use a very overflowing teaspoon of the batter. Now you can roll several of them and put them in the powdered sugar and then roll them around and put them on your tray. You don't have to do one at a time. Now when you bake them, be very careful because they should still have a little bit of a shine at the end of the baking process. Otherwise they might be overdone and they'll be too hard when they cool. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed these 2 cookies that I made. And I look forward to being back very soon. Bye.